Oh, so good to be here.
Yeah, it is. I'm happy to be here and I am excited. Hi, lovely. I'm Dr. Ambra Brown.
And I'm Tash Alvaro. Welcome to Two Single Mums and a Donor Daddy,
where two complete strangers are connected by choosing the same donor daddy. And now we're having real conversations about the journey to solo motherhood by choice.
And how to prepare for it mentally, physically, emotionally, and even intuitively, while creating the path to motherhood on your terms.
I talk to Tash on a regular. I mean, pretty much every day. But I was just saying, like, we have gone so far with our episodes, and I'm just so excited about what we have accomplished. And I can't believe we did this. Was it back in January? Was it in January? Anyway, it's been a while.
Like, wait.
But I was wanting to do this bonus episode because I wanted to take time to really just pat ourselves on the back, because we have definitely been cranking this out, and, in a good way, because we're so passionate about what we do and how we want to get out this amazing lived experience to you guys so that you all can take it and use it to help you navigate the space. But I'm just wanting to share with you all how we feel about this, doing Two Single Moms and a Donor Daddy podcast, and being that we are single moms and navigating so much, juggling so much. We have had some challenges and some not seeing eye to eye right away. But the good thing about it is that we're able to utilize actually what we have learned on some aspects and to come together in agreement. So I wanted to talk about just our milestone and just kind of what to expect as we move forward with our podcast. So I'm very excited to talk about it, Tash, with you and with our audience.
Yes, absolutely. I'm thrilled how well we have really done. And I just want the audience to understand that we are literally doing this podcast in the pockets of our time. So just for you to get an understanding. So for me, it's 6:30 in the morning on a Sunday. And for Ambra, it's a Saturday afternoon. So I don't want to say we're squeezing in this time, but we create this time so we can bring this forward, because this podcast means the absolute world to us. And like Ambra said, we want people to know our lived experience so that if you are navigating this journey, it's like, hopefully there's something that our journey, our story may resonate with you along the way. So I have to make sure I'm caffeinated when I get on. Yeah, just so you know, as I said, this means the absolute world to us, and we are going to make it fit in the pockets of our time. And just for people to know that if there's something that you are really passionate about, or you have this pull and desire, do it. You will find the time. I know that sometimes you can be in the middle of a crossroad going, I don't know how this is going to work out. Sometimes you have to just put your foot to the pedal and give it a go. If you don't give yourself that opportunity to try, at least try. Don't quit before you even start, because you've got all those things. They're going to be there anyway in your head, regardless. And I recently did a post on Instagram in regards to my business, so how that inner critic within all of us can be very loud and make out that we are incapable of doing the things that we love. So, yes, I just want you, if we can be an advocate to let you know that things are possible, then yay.
Yeah. And you kind of touched on this too, moving, just do it. And I will say, for the both of us, we had some inkling of some of the things that we were going to face, but nothing was perfect. And we had to kind of just take it as it came. I didn't want to speak for Tasha. No, she had somebody that she knew that was on this path, but I didn't. So it was new for me. So I was really not having all the support that I needed to navigate this. And so this podcast is important because here I am sharing with you because I didn't have that support. And I truly enjoy being able to just share that and help you know things that may come up in your path. And it just brings me joy. And I know it brings Tess joy to share this with you all and utilize our expertise as well to help you be able to cope in a way that maybe you didn't think that you could, but you can. And what's beautiful about this podcast, because we're here to cheer you on, we're here to give you the things to support you collectively and individually. So I'm just grateful for this podcast and that I finally said yes to this. And I'm grateful that Tesh was like, heck yeah. I'm glad that this was the right timing to do so. Who knows what things would have been if I had said yes a while back. I probably would have been, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. Maybe it would have been less crazy because there has been like things that's happened in these past like few months, starting last month, or last year. But I think it was meant to be. I think that the craziness in my personal life and then starting this podcast was meant to be so that I could have life lessons in order to share with you guys, because you might face things that are similar to me with having to be a caretaker for like your parents, but also being a caregiver or nurturing and being there for like your child. And so I can now speak on that because maybe years ago I could not have done that. So I think that everything's meant to be. And I'm just glad I was able to say yes to this and share what we have personally and professionally. So
love it. Absolutely love it. And it's true. Yeah. And as you said, it's what we learn throughout our journey. And one thing about myself is I don't want to say I'm a yes person. If there is certain opportunities for me, I will go in sometimes head first. And my parents have never understood that. And I've always been that kind of person. And funny enough, it's so interesting how parents can be very protective and go, have you thought about that? Like before you've said yes? And it's really interesting because my father, when he was in business, and I had this conversation with him, I said, you took so many risks business-wise that ended up being so successful for us as a family. Like we even moved states when I was 13 years old for a better life for us, even though at the time I was furious at my father for making us move. But in hindsight, it was one of the best decisions, and seeing my parents and the family business grow and be so successful because my dad took a leap of faith. Right. And I think that's what it leads into is sometimes you just need to take that leap of faith. If you feel that calling, and that's what certain things I've done within my life. At the age of 23, I'm moving. I moved states, with a girlfriend of mine at the time. And my mother was beside herself. And then the leap of faith of going ahead and becoming a single mother by choice. Again, my parents are like, what is going on? But I think they saw how strong I was in my conviction of this is what I'm doing. And they were like, okay, this is her. This is who she is. I was like, this is part of me. I'm willing to take a risk and then see, is it going to be successful or am I going to learn something from this? I've never wanted to be a what if person. And I think that's something that's always been inside of me. I dislike being a what if. And there's been times where I haven't followed through with something that I truly desired. And later on, you do feel like, oh, I really wish I went for it. Because sometimes I allowed someone's opinion or the outside noise get into me and have that effect on me. But I was just like, okay, well, this is when you have the opportunity to really connect with yourself. And the lessons that myself and Amber have learnt over these years and our own journey, we had this inner knowing without knowing we had the inner knowing.
Yeah.
That's
and yeah, no, that's
right.
exactly right.
So we had it and it was so strong But at the time, like in comparison to what's available today in regards to different modalities of connecting to yourself and knowing what's there for you, and what we've learned, it was like, regardless, we had that inner knowing. This was our journey. This is what we wanted to do in order to become a mother, because that pull to become a mum was so strong, and that nothing and no one was going to change that. This is a great opportunity to go, okay, is that within me? And that's why we're saying with our tools, this gives you the ability to hone into that as well. So it's not about getting it perfect. It's just sitting with yourself and going, okay, is this journey the right journey for me? And regardless of what the answer is, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. And you come out better than you were before, even if you don't decide to take this solo path. I mean, because you are allowing yourself to know who you are more and realize, you know, I'm a bad bitch.
I love that. Yes.
You know? Yeah. Like at the end of the day, to think how amazing you are and shining a light on how you are stronger than you were before, the things that you will stand for and not stand for, being able to hold your convictions. Like, this is what it's all about. Like, getting to dive deep and knowing who you are will help you make the right decisions for yourself. But again, like, you come out so much better on the other side. And that's just beautiful in itself.
Oh, I love that so much, bad bitch, right here. That's right.
Yeah. It's so true. It's so true. You're like, like, I can stand up for myself. This is what I want in any decision that I make, you know, and holding true. And it's okay to have like different viewpoints, but don't let that lead you. You lead yourself. That's what we talk about, the inner knowing, like what feels good for you on the inside. And does that feel good enough to make the decision for yourself and not for someone else? So yeah.
Absolutely. And as a mother, raising a child is not linear. It's not perfect. And this is what I have learned for myself is the journey of raising my son. I'm also reparenting myself. And I'm not saying my parents did a bad job by any means. This is nothing to do with that. What it is that your child is going to trigger the shit out of you, right? Old wounds are going to pop up. And it's not just in regards to what you may have experienced as a child growing up. It may have even been in a relationship. They may say something or do something or act a certain way that pops something in your head like, oh, that's how my ex-partner spoke to me and those sorts of things. So, and this is something that I've been learning on my own journey. But I remember when I really honed into my healing, especially after my divorce, I looked at my son and I was like, it's not just me. I have to do this for him. I have to be the healthiest version of me, not only mentally, but physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And my son was honestly my driving force as well, because if it wasn't for my son, I really do believe that I would have been following that same path, doing the same things, not really learning anything. So I remember this pivotal moment and I looked at him and I was like, I can't be selfish. I have to look after him as well. So looking after me then helps me become a better mum as well. And so he was my guiding light, really. As much as he drives me absolutely crazy, I wouldn't give it up for a second, right? He's already taller than me and he's hilarious. He thinks now he can tease me about my height. And I'm like, sweetheart, I've been this height your entire life. I was like, now you're just surpassing me, which is what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
I said, don't make out that my height is a flaw because it's not. I said, this body carried you, right?
All right.
I was an inch away from the steering wheel in the car at 8 months pregnant. An inch. Like, it's just...
Oh my goodness.
This body is incredible for carrying the likes of you with all these limbs. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's what I really want to sort of bring forward as well, is that the way that I brought my son into this world is exactly how it was supposed to be. It was the way God wanted me to bring my son into this world. Even though I had so many people, and I think I brought it up one time before, I even had a woman tell me that I wasn't a proper mother because of the way that I had conceived my child. And I was just like, wow, just for people to feel and think this way, it's really incredible. But what I've learned over the years as well is that is someone's projection.
Exactly.
Their fear, because I took the courage to have my child becoming a single mother by choice. And for some women, it may not have been a choice for them, or they just find it foreign and weird. And I think that's why also my parents, especially my father, was so protective of the way I went about having my son, because he was like, I don't want anyone hurting my daughter, let alone my grandchild. That's why I just want to put out there that whatever your decision is, be strong in your conviction. Be so strong and so solid, because I'm telling you now, yes, there's going to be a lot of outside noise. There is going to be a lot of people's projection onto you, absolutely, because it's coming out of fear. But you got to remember there's going to be people in your corner as well.
Yeah. And that's not yours to carry. That's not your burden. That's theirs.
1000%.
So remember to let go of that. Like, that's not yours.
No, absolutely. It's not yours to carry. And for them to feel that it's okay to say things to you. It's like people say, you know, people provide you unsolicited advice when you're pregnant, which is super weird. And a lot of it does come from other women as well. So it's just like Amber said, it's not yours to carry. And this is why we put things together in order for you to feel comfortable and work on that, so that you're in a place that, okay, yep, I know what you're saying. Thanks, love and light to you, but I'm not taking that on, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Love and light,
exactly.
babe.
That's all you can do. And you release that and you move on about your business. Like, whatever. Like,
That's
fine.
it.
You know? So I want to pause for just a moment, because if any part of this conversation is resonating with you, I want you to know you're not alone. I'm currently building a mini course called Ready from Within, designed to help women slow down, reflect, and reconnect with themselves as they consider or even navigate solo motherhood. This isn't about rushing a decision. It's about building a strong inner foundation so you can trust yourself through the good, the hard, and everything in between. I've opened up a waitlist so you can be the first to know when it's ready. The link is in the show notes. I would love to hear like your thoughts on how you navigated trying to be all the things, a mom, a Mrs. Fix-It, taking care of your own business, and then on top of like doing this podcast. Like, tell me the things that felt good for you and not so good, and like really not so good. Like, if you had any of that, like, just share your experience upon deciding to say yes to this, so that people can know like this isn't like all roses. This is real as a single mom by choice, trying to juggle everything, but also share information with you guys that means the world to us to do.
Absolutely. I think me as a person, there are times where I can get completely consumed and overwhelmed by all the responsibilities of being a single parent, working, looking after a household, making sure I keep my child alive, and my business as well, and the podcast. And I think it got to a point where I had to sit with, okay, if this is an opportunity that has been brought forward to me, and how does it feel in my body? And if I don't go ahead with it, what is that going to feel like too? And like I've said before, I'm a person that I don't want to say it's a risk, but it's an opportunity, right? Because we don't know what the outcome is going to be. But I was like, okay. And I think it's when we got to a point when we discussed what's going to be ideal for us to record, when we can record. And I was like, yeah, that's doable for me, right? And so I have to look at how my life is panned out to go, okay, I can do that there. I'm not pressured into, we've got to get this recording done and then I've got to take off and get this done and get that done. And so it's no different with my business. And also, I'm very open with the conversations I have with my son at the age that he is now. So there are times when I'm feeling really overwhelmed that I sit with him and I'm like, this is where mummy's at right now. And I'm feeling a lot. And it's not your responsibility to take on. I'm just letting you know where I am at. And he's like, okay, so he can understand. Because like the other day, I was a bit snappy and I felt it in my body. And I just was like, ugh, I don't like talking to him like that. And so I said to him, I go, Bub, I'm really sorry. I was snappy. I shouldn't have been. And he goes, it's all right, mummy. And I'm like, actually, it's not. I wanted him to see that I can take self-responsibility as well for my actions, my tone, and how I address things. So there are times where there are going to be certain things I have to put on the back burner just so then I can manage my energy as well. Like I've got to remember, I'm 51 years old and I'm not a spring chicken anymore, which is perfectly fine. But I think for me, working on making sure I don't burn out is extremely important because of the many hats that we wear, the roles that we play. It's very easy to get caught up in it. I've got to do, right? And I work hard on making sure in the pockets of my time that I am filling up my cup either through breath work, but also quality time with my son. So he's obsessed with playing video games, which is perfectly fine, but I'm quite strict on the amount of time he's on them. And yesterday we were playing the game Guess Who. So I tend to buy a lot of old school games that I grew up with. And we spent an hour doing that. And I tell you, it was the best fun. We were laughing so hard because he was flabbergasted at how I would pick his person straight away. And he's like, how do you do that? Can you see through my board? Like, I was like, your mum was a queen at this game. Like, so I even made sure the other day, because this past week I had been fighting a virus, I took myself down to the beach and I was like, I don't do this because I work from home. I've been very blessed that I work in the public service and I have the opportunity to work from home and also with my own business. So I can get caught in the trap of staying home, even in my downtime. And I was like, no, I need to get myself out and also part of the community as well. And so once a fortnight I attend, it's almost like a live podcast that my chiropractor does. And he interviews and has a chat with people, different modalities and things like that. So I attended that on Wednesday night as well. So I'm doing things, I'm making sure that I'm putting in the time to fill up my cup. So then I am available for myself, I'm available for my son, and then the work that I am putting into my business and into my job as well as the podcast, I'm not at a point that I'm at capacity and that I can't be and bring my all to each and every one if I do not fill up my cup. And I really want to preface on this like just how important it is, regardless if you're a single mum by choice or just as a mother. We have a tendency of putting ourselves on the back burner and putting our child's needs, our family needs, our partner's needs at the forefront of ourselves. And then we're wondering why we are completely depleted and can't show up. And mummy, can you come and do this with me? Or sweetheart, you want to go do this? And you're just like, right? It's like, you can't do that to yourself. So it's really important that you balance as best as possible. And that's why I keep saying you can do it in the pockets of your time, right? If you can doom scroll, then you can do things to fill up your cup.
Yeah.
Right? So you
Absolutely.
can binge watch Netflix. You can go outside and just sit in nature or go for a walk or whatever it is. Do something that is going to fill you up, that feels nourishing for you. And that's where I'm at. Do I balance it perfectly? No, but it's work in progress. And I think that's what people need to understand as well is like, I'm not getting it perfect every single time. Not by any means. I'm human. We are human. And I think we have to remember that. But be kind to yourself when you're learning and adjusting. And it feels foreign when you're like, hang on, I actually get to put myself first. Right? Because we've been taught that we have to put others first as well. It's like, no. And that's something that I learned when I had my son and I held him in my arms for the first time. I was like, if I don't look after myself, I am useless to my child. Useless. And that's not okay. I work very hard to make sure that I do not burn myself out, that I'm incapable of doing anything. So,
Yeah.
And what about you, Amber?
I will say totally excited when I said yes to this, and I'm still excited now. It always brings me joy, and I'm a planner. I'm a Virgo. So like I like organization and planning, and that is my thing. That helps me feel sane in my brain. Yeah. And so doing the podcast and being able to like write kind of the scripts for it or doing the outline or doing like the cover art or the thumbnail for the YouTube channel that we have so that you can see our beautiful faces. I like that. But with things changing in my circle with my parents getting older and all the medical complications and then navigating with Ashton, with schooling and listen, schooling is challenging for me because I haven't done these things in a long time. Plus, it's different. So that stresses me out. So I'm trying to like navigate that as well as trying to make sure things are running for the podcast. And also my job, I am a physical therapist. And so I also have to put on many hats when I go and see my population, my geriatric patients, because they have so many stuff too. So I'm having to carry everybody's burdens and then having to juggle all that when I come home. And I find that lately it had been so challenging and I'm like losing control of things. And so Tesh, I will share this if that's okay, Tesh. Not the whole thing, but just a minute. We were just having a conversation. We were like just moving and it was good, but she realized, which is perfectly fine because that's the beauty of knowing boundaries and checking yourself. Listen, I love what I'm doing, but I don't want to get burnt out. And you, my dear, you're going through a lot and I don't want you to get burned out. I want you to appreciate what you're doing here and giving the best that you can for not only just like your family, but for yourself and for this podcast. And I definitely felt this podcast is like my ability to stay sane or stay in control and not lose that. But at the same time, I was definitely like feeling the pressure of like getting things put out. But in my brain, I'm like, this is fine. And honestly, it wasn't. And so I had to eventually sit with what Tesh said. And honestly, like in my inner knowing, I call it in Tesh knows ego. And I call mine little Ambra because that's me, my little ego. And she was like, no, I got all this. Like, we're doing this. You're going to hold on to this. We're going to keep pushing no matter what. And big Ambra or my knowing Ambra was like, now you know exactly what Tesh is talking about. And we have literally just had this conversation on one of our episodes about the masculinity and femininity and the energies. And if you haven't checked it out, check it out. But she had to bring me back and go, yes, like you can't keep like creaking and moving. You have to be in a part of like receiving. And I realized that and I had to sit with that and come and be okay with that. Now, in the midst of that, like I always promote journaling. But at this time in my life, I was like, I don't want to journal. I don't want to journal it out. Screw this. I didn't want to. And that's
So this mini tantrum. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I was having a mini tantrum and I didn't want to do it. But I found another avenue, which I enjoy, which I share too with you guys many times, is that if you don't like to journal or if you don't feel like journaling, talk it out. Like I talk to myself all the time just to be able to sort things out in my head, which helps me too. I also have a recorder and talk it out that way, or even like talking to my friend and expressing how I'm feeling, not them telling me what to do, but just expressing how I feel to get that out, to shake that off and be more clear-headed. And I think that after doing that, that allowed me to feel better about the decision of taking a step back for myself so that I can be there for myself, but also for everyone else, including this podcast, because we want to produce the best for you guys because it's so important. We want to be that example for you. And if I am running on E, I'm not going to be able to do that for you all. So it has been a lot of joys. And then there's just been a lot of hard times just juggling it all. And so we are together making room for ourselves to be the best that we can for you guys. And so with that being said, there might be some things that might be a little bit different as we move forward later on in many episodes, but it will still be us. We'll still be cranking out amazing information and lived experiences and our professional expertise on what we do, but it will shift in order to be able to be the best versions of ourselves. And I will say, if you listen to episode 10, we did an interview, and there's going to be more of that to come along the way, plus sharing more of like our journey of how we chose our donor, how we chose the facility, and even like our process of giving birth as well, and so much more, even having like other people giving insights on so many other things. There's going to be so many great interviews that will be so beneficial to you all that you won't even know what to do with yourselves. But watch it again. Get all the information you can. So we're just very excited about this, how this is folding out in front of us. And yes, you're right. It's not perfect, but that's okay. We don't need to be perfect. I think just something on TV, it's called what? Imperfectly Perfect, I think.
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's okay to not have all things align the way that you want it to align, but remembering how you feel, who you are, and listening to yourself will help you get where you need to be, and then you'll feel good about that. So that's really important.
Amber, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I just want to also say a big thank you for this incredible opportunity that you reached out to me to do this podcast. And I was just like, as soon as you asked, I was like, yes. I didn't even need to think about it. As I said, that's the kind of person that I am. I'm like, hell yeah, we're doing this. And so it's just been a privilege. It really has been an absolute privilege. It's been such an awesome journey with you. It's been a wild ride. And it really has given us, because as I said, we are friends prior to diving into this podcast. But I think also what this journey into the podcast has given us, it's almost like we've leveled up within our friendship as well, and the conversations we can have. And like Amber touched on, it's like we can also see the signs of, hey, hun, I think we need to just pull back a bit. The last thing I want is this to happen. That's where we are at, that we can look out for each other and go, babe, I've got you. So this is what's been really beautiful, is that it has allowed our friendship to grow, not just on a business level, but on a friendship level too. And I'm just grateful to think that we're 10 episodes in already is just mind-blowing. And as Amber touched on as well, it's like there is so much more to come, and I'm so excited to bring that forward for our audience. Very excited.
So also too, I want to like definitely give love to our audience, because we've gotten just amazing feedback from you all about just how we have done this podcast and how it's been beneficial for them. And I had mentioned, I think just recently on Instagram, like people who know me, family members who have watched my journey, but kind of in a distance, they didn't really like know what all that I went through. And so hearing me speak on it, they have really realized a whole nother view of a side of me. And they're at awe of how amazing woman I am, an amazing mother. And they just was like, thank you for sharing this because I was not aware. And just hearing that from different people and sharing, like, even we talked about like our certain diagnosis that we have experienced, I even had people reach out and say, I have that and I was never told this, or I was told this, and it's been like challenging for me. But I appreciate you saying this because I want to like try again to be a mom. There's just so many things that you all have shared with us. And that whether it was on Facebook or through Instagram or whatever platform that we had received it on, it was just made us feel good about like where we are and how we're able to like help. And that's just a beautiful thing too. But that's what we want at the end of the day,
Yeah.
Shine a light on the things to help you thrive and be the best that you can be for yourself and for, your little one.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
We thank you for supporting us. We thank you for listening to us, watching us. And please don't be afraid to ask questions or put anything in the comments. If you have questions or you're curious about anything, we are here to answer those for you as best to our ability too. So we just want to thank you because without you, we wouldn't be here. So again, thank you so much.
Yep, thank you. Please remember to rate and follow us and share because we want to share this information to everybody who may benefit from it. So thank you so much and hope that you enjoy the rest of your day.
Absolutely. Thanks again. All the best, everyone.
All right, bye.
Bye.